and other things you want me to explain or whatever. Okay?
Great. I will do the record. No problem. No?
Okay, perfect.
So wait me for 1 minute. We still have one person.
Okay. Uy, I just missed this. Just
Okay, so maybe we can start.
yes, a second, please. I just.
Sure.
Here is breakfast time.
Very first time, yes.
No, it's breakfast time in here for wine.
The what?
Breakfast time. It's
breakfast.
the breakfast time in here.
Oh my God, have you taken some food?
Yes, yes.
Wow. When will you drink with us?
Hey, I will take breakfast. I will here. Just a second.
No, sure. Yes. 还没开始，刚好。那你有把电脑给他吗？要有共鸣吗？还在写一下。
Just when you want.
Yes.
We are still waiting. We are waiting for one person.
No, he's here.
Everybody's here?
Yes.
Okay. Morning.
Hola.
Okay, so thanks for the opportunity to explain a little bit more about Pazo de Señorans, our region, and our philosophy. So the idea is I want to make you a fast explanation about what is the Rias Baixas, about the Albarino, of the soils and all that, and a little bit about the company, and then we go through the wines, okay? We make
Javier, I will, when you talk to a period, and I will stop you for translation. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Thanks, to let you know.
Okay, so Pazo de Señorans is a private business, it's a family business. We are located. Just a second. We are located on the northwest coast of Spain, in Galicia, in the city of Pontevedra. And the appellation, the appellation Rias Baixas is all our wines belongs to, okay? It has 5 sub areas. Is Val Salnés, that's where we are, or Rosal, the one that is in the border with Portugal, Sotomayor, a little more onshore, and Condado de Tea. We are seated in Val Salnés, the wine that is closer to the ocean, the biggest and the one that is closer to the ocean. Okay, the reason because the appellation, it has 5 different sub areas, is because when the appellation was created, what they tried to do is make the historical wine that was done in its sub region. The historical wine in the sub region Val Salnés, where we are, it was 100% Albarino. That's the reason, because we only work with Albarino grape. In other sub areas like Orrosal, the historical wine was 70% Albarino, 30% Loureiro or Caíño, and that's the historical wine that they're still doing in here. But on the label doesn't says Albarino. On the label says Rosal. You probably know one wine of this area. It's called Terras Gauda. I know you know it.
Yeah, they're from Orrosal. Yeah.
Exactly. That says Orrosal. Why? Because the historical wine, it was a blend from Albarino and another varieties. Sorry about that. Our historical wine was 100% Albarino. So we only work with 100% Albarino grape in all our wines.
Okay, I'll do some translation here. 所以Ria Special 它只有5块地，然后原因会分5块是因为品种不同。然后他们那个 Valdo Sarnes 这个是最早期的，然后只有那块是做100%Albarino。然后像 Orrosal 这个地方是像我们的那个高大山区那个，对，它就必须在瓶上面写 Orrosal， 然后也是Loureiro那个品种。对，然后70%是Albarino， 30%是Loureiro那个品种，跟Caño的品种。
Okay, so about the origin of the variety, so the variety is already adapted. It's been here for more than 2,000 years, so it was probably the Romans, the ones who bring it here. For a lot of period, lots of people always thought that Albarino grape was related to Riesling, with Riesling grape, but it's not true. Right now, with the NDA, we know that they are not related. Okay, so it's just a grape variety that has been here for 2,000 years and is well adapted to this cloudy and wet and mild weather.
Albarino 这个品种是很早期2000年前就已经有的一个品种，然后以前很多人会把它跟 Riesling 觉得混是同一个品种，但是后来发现其实不是。
So how is our weather here? Because you know that the wine is like a picture. It's a picture from a grape variety, weather, soil, and the personality who makes the wine. So here we have a really special weather. We are on Atlantic area, but this is more like Mediterranean weather more than Atlantic, because we have average temperature around 16 Celsius degrees. And like you see, we have a really high pluviometry, a really high rainfall. It's more than 1,500 square millimeters a year. And we grow everything almost at the sea level. The highest one are around 300 meters, but our average are around 80 meters from sea level.
So it's not that high, right?
No, it's just.
Okay. And you say it's a Mediterranean or more Atlantic one?
You know, it should be more an Atlantic, but it looks more like a soft Atlantic, because we have really nice temperatures, 16 Celsius. It could be like a Mediterranean with higher rainfall. Okay.
Okay. 就是它虽然是在大西洋这个产地，对，那应该是海洋性气候，但是他们会觉得它是一种软性的海洋性气候，就还比较偏向地中海型气候，因为他们的气温就差不多16度，所以没有温，就变很日夜温差很大这样。然后再加上他们的降雨量就是1500公里一年，对，所以其实我看起来是算蛮多的啦，然后他们大部分都是靠海。就是可能是从海拔80到300公尺高，所以不算太高的地方。Yeah.
But for me, the most important is, like I told you, is the soil. So the soil, it's part of the life of the wines. And here on the Salnes Valley, we have a really special soil that I think it makes the big difference between the Albarino from Rías Baixas and Salnes Albarinos that other Albarinos that are growing all over the world right now. Okay, so here we call the soil Sabre, because it's really, this Sabre is granite. The most important thing around here is granite. Everything is made of granite. Houses are made of granite. Furniture is made of granite. The vines are granite, and the soil is decomposed granite because the acidity and the humidity of the soil. And
Yes.
Yeah.
他们最重要的是这个就土壤这个东西，然后 granic 中文是花岗岩，所以其实他们到处就是花岗岩，就叫shabre，
yeah.
shabre soil。
And all this looks like rock. It's not really a rock. So if you put it in your hand, you press it, becomes sand in your hand. Is granite totally decomposed because the acidity and the humidity. So it looks like a rock, but becomes sand in your hand just in the moment that you press it. And that's the minerality that is on the wines and is on everything.
但是捏的时候就马上碎掉，就跟砂质一样，所以那是他们就最主要控制的来源，全部都是矿物质。
That's a big difference. And the wines, after being like 3 years on the bottle, is where they start to show the notes from the terroir. So that's when you start to get the mineral notes, those smoky notes. It's just that. It's about granite. It's about sabre. That is where is been in contact with the grapes during its whole life. So it's the most important. You can start to get the terroir notes after being the wine on the bottle for a while. You know, when a wine is too young, it's only gonna tell you the variety is coming from. Then it's gonna. We talk a little more of that on the testing.
Okay.
Okay. Another special thing about our area is we grow everything at pergola system. You see, we grow 98% of our vines are in pergola system. There are up here, that is like 1 meter 80 centimeters, 180 centimeters.
他前面要讲的主要是就是因为当地那个石头的矿质感其实会完全融入到酒里面，所以当你在闻酒的味道的时候，很容易可以闻到那些矿质的感受。
So is the historical growing system of this. This is how it looks, the Albarino bunch. There are really small bunches. There are around 250 grams, 300 grams with a really tiny berry. And the berry, it has a really thin skin. What is nice because protects the berry from the bats to go through, okay? Because it's really, really tough. The problem is really small and it has really big pips inside. So the yield of this is really, really low. We almost need 2 kilograms of grape to make a bottle of wine.
2 kilos for a bottle of wine.
Because the yield on press is 0.61. So that means we almost need 2 kilograms. While if you go to another areas like Rueda, Verdejo, with 1 kilo, they make a bottle of wine. In Rías Baixas, we need almost 2 kilograms to make a bottle of wine.
说就是这是阿巴利牛的品种，然后大概是一串大概250克，然后它的皮是特别的薄。那在这个地方，因为出质量很低，产量很低，所以至少都要2公斤的葡萄才能产1瓶700的酒。可像鲁维达这个地方，1公斤的葡萄就可以产1瓶酒，所以对他们来讲，其实东西是就产出量是更少的。Yep.
So, and what's about our philosophy? Of course, our philosophy is to respect the environment. Is where we live. We live from that, and we live for that. Our point is being really respectful with the variety and with the area, because it's the way that being such a small winery, we have presence in more than 50 different countries, and that is because we just make a wine that shows the typicity of the Albarino grape in sunless valley terroirs and with this weather. So we try to be really respectful. And our philosophy is make what we call honest wines. For us, the honest wine is the one that it has to give you in the mouth what is promising you in the nose. You know, there is a lot of wines that they are very aromatic, but in the mouth, they are quite small, and that we look for big structures on the mouth and aging potential on the wines.
他们的酒其实就是一个叫 honest wine， 就是诚实的酒，就是你鼻子闻起来可能是很多奔放的味道，但是喝到嘴巴里面就是会有一种比较缓慢、比较内敛、比较小一点点的，就是让你可以陈年比较久的那种酒款。然后他们其实也讲到，就是完全是尊重环境。然后他说，全世界150个国家，我觉得就 presenting 150 countries or 50 countries, 50 no?
50. 50. 50.
世界50几个国家都有他们的酒，所以其实算是分布非常非常多的一个酒庄。那他们反映最反映的，其实就是他们当地的土壤、地质、味道、风土。所以他们就是自己就笑称说，我们就是只酿造很诚实的酒。
Okay.
Yes.
These are some pictures about the property, because the property is like a palace, is like we call Pazos. The Pazos, they used to be like the rich house of the place, but always with lands to work on. And that's the reason of these weird buildings. These buildings are called hórreos, and the hórreos, they used to be the warehouse of the houses. That was the place where they dry the corn, they keep the potatoes, they dry the pig products and everything. So it was the storage of the houses. So you know how powerful was the family checking the size of the hórreo, because bigger the hórreo, more lands they own. And we have one of the biggest hórreos. So there is no hórreos as big as this one. It was huge. So that means that the family that owns the property, they were really rich and they have lots of lands to work on.
就是帕佐是当地就是很大的房子，对，那是那种贵族才会有。然后这个东西其实以前是他们在装仓库的东西，叫 Oreo。对，所以这个 Oreo 其实越大，你就可以判断说他们家越有钱，因为有钱就会需要库存越多的东西。对，那他们拥有当时是最大的一个 Oreo。Oreo
是 O 吧？
我不知道 Oreo 是什么。How do you spell Oreo?
H-O-R-R-E-O. Oreo.
Oreo. Double R. H-O-R-R-I-O.
Yeah. E-O.
Oreo.
So this one is from the 17th century. The house is from the 16th century. The Oreo was on the 17th century. And the other main things of the property, they are from the 70s. Of course, there are things from the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st century too, because in these houses you have to always keep improving and doing things. But it's part of the soul of the place, and it's really nice because it helps to understand the area, how are the houses, how they make things, and all that. Another special thing is the harvesting. Sorry.
It's okay. 16、17世纪就有，然后就是一直到现在都还是因为人都住在里面，所以一直维修。Yep.
Another special thing in the area is how we do harvesting. Harvesting here, it has to be manual. Everything has to be manual. It's mandatory by the appellation, but even if you grow up here, everything has to be manual. You see on the gill for the harvest, we give them a bucket, a hook to hack the bucket. These are grape cases, and we give them scissors. So they have to cut the bunches. They check if any grape doesn't look good. When they are clean, they put it on the bucket. When the buckets are full, they put it on the small cases. We don't allow people playing basketball with grapes. Okay, it's really expensive, and we take a lot of careful about the grapes because we want it in a perfect shape.
所以你会看到上面有很多那个小桶子是挂在那个挂钩上面。对，他们是要剪之后放上来，剪之后放上去，然后再倒到旁边的那个篮子里面。他就是不允许人家在那边偷懒，因为这边的葡萄是很珍贵的。Yes.
So this is another typical picture from our land. You see, granite is all over. These are big granite rocks. These are the reason because all these houses don't have basements. All these houses, if you try to make a hole in here, what you're going to find is a big granite rock. So the most of the houses, they have main walls, or the walls are 1 meter thick walls where are supporting the house. Houses don't have basements. And that's the reason because the cellars here, they are not underland either, because they have the north face as underland as possible and they go back, but there are no really deep underland because there is everything about granite. Impossible to make hole on a granite area.
Really fragile.
Yeah. And we have the ocean 7 kilometers in that way and the ocean 10 kilometers in that way. So the Atlantic influence, it always have presence in our gills. People say that the Atlantic makes the saltiness of the Albarino. I think the Atlantic, what it makes is softer weather. The Atlantic makes, we don't have snow, we don't have rocks or granite or things like that. Okay, what the Atlantic makes is a softer weather. Makes us. I think the saltiness, it comes from the terroir, not from the wind, not from the Atlantic wind. Okay.
Yeah， 就是这边有，其实这边全部的地质都是花岗岩，对，所以等于是都是很碎很碎的，所以比较不可能在上面凿洞，所以他们都必须要用这种棚架式的方式，然后这样子去耕种。然后再就是说，有些人会说阿巴利纽的咸度是来自于海洋的风味带来的咸，但他自己认为是土地，是花岗岩，就是有些贫瘠的土壤会带给这个。就是 stress， 就是会让这些葡萄产生比较多的咸味，然后再加上它们其实是离它后面10公尺就直接是海，就是大西洋，对，所以他觉得大西洋带来的是比较温和的温度，就海洋性的气候，这样，所以也让就是也造就了他们这边酒的风格，就是不是大起大落的。Yes.
Okay. So, and then if you want, we go through the wines, and I explain you a little bit the wines. Okay, this should be.
We are tasting this one.
Is this one? Okay, oh, sorry. So Pazo de Señorans is 2019. Sorry. So this wine, Pazo de Señorans, okay, is our main wine. It's the most typical wine and it's what the most of the people, when they're thinking about an Albarino, what they think is young wine with crisp acidity and a wine that you must drink young. So that is good. That is good. But in Pazo de Señorans, we made all the wines to drink young because it's nice, it's refreshing, but all our wines are made to drink older, so they get better and better on the bottle with the pass of the time. So we are starting to sell really 2020. 2019 is better one, it's higher price. Every time you have 1 year, one vintage behind, the wine increase €1. Okay, in Pazo de Señorans, wines get better and better with the pass of the time. Why? Because okay, this wine comes from 400 tiny plots. We treat all these plots individually, so that's really important because we decide the optimum harvest day for every single plot. Why there is so many tiny plots in here? Because the historical way of growing grapes in here, it was not like a main activity. Everybody grows their grapes to make their own wine in home, okay, like a self-sufficient, auto-consume. They were auto-consume houses. That's the reason, because the plots are so tiny around here and everybody has a really, really tiny plot. You want to explain that or?
Yeah, 就是以前他们这个地方的酒，其实这个酒是他们酿造酒是要越新鲜喝就越好，就是在基本上大家对阿巴利纽或是里亚斯巴夏斯的酒都有点这种印象。那他们要做的是新鲜喝，酸度高，很清脆没有错。可是放久了还是可以继续做的酒，还是可以继续喝的酒。所以这是他们自己酒庄对自己的一个承诺。然后他有说到。以前就是住在这个地方的人，他们自己家里面都会自己去种酒，所以会发现这个地方的酒其实就是葡萄园，就是东一块西一块，东一块西一块的小小，就是自家在生产的酒。Yep.
So, and like we have all this obsession, that's of all our wines get better with the pass of the time. That's the reason, because all our wines spend minimum 4 or 5 months on the lees. Okay, so you know, the lees are the dead is, and the lees, what are going to give to our wines is a bigger structure, bigger body, and they're going to get, the wine gets better with the pass of the times, because I always explain the same. Here in the Salnes Valley, we get from the lees what other varieties get from the oak. Okay, when you are using a barrel, usually is because you want to make a wine with longer life. The barrel is going to protect the wine during the aging, okay? And then you're going to get from the barrel some tiny notes like smoky notes, vanilla, cocoa, depending on where the barrel comes from, okay? With the lees, it's just the same, but the good thing about the lees, they just come from the wine, because a barrel then is a tree, is something that is not related to the wine. But the lees, they are going to have the same with the barrel in other varieties, because the lees are going to protect the wine during the aging on the stand still, okay? They are going to protect it. They are going to give the wine bigger structure, bigger volume on the mouth. And then we are going to get from the lees these smoky notes, these nice things that they come from the wine too. So it's really nice about that. Okay, and then with the pass of the time, it's like I told you, the bottle is going to make the wine a little finer, and then we are going to get the terroir notes. That's really nice when we talk about these other things, about these smokies, this minerality, this saltiness that start to appear in the wine a little longer. Okay.
所以他们有特别强调，就是他们的白酒呢，至少都会过这个历死掉的酵母至少5个月的时间，5、6个月的时间。那有些人会陈年，就是只是为了要用橡木桶的时间，但是他觉得橡木桶是来自于橡树，就是跟葡萄是不一样的。对，那它只是额外添加一些不见得融合的味道。可是像这个粒是来自于葡萄本身，就橡木本身，所以它是一样的起源。所以跟这个酒其实是会非常的合。那本来粒就是泡酒，它也可以让这个酒可以比较有陈年的潜力。然后也可以让整体的这个酒的口感比较圆润、比较丰富一点点。然后他们说，甚至还有一点点 smoky 的味道，一点烟熏的味道。那像比较圆润的那种乳香感，还有矿质感，其实都是来自于他们至少有做这个泡粒至少5个月的这个动作，这样子。Yes, Javier.
Okay, so in the testing, when you get the wine on the nose, so let's go for it. And then you see it has in the talking about the technical seed, it has a quite medium high alcohol degree, but it's really balanced with the acidity. It's totally dry wine, so it's really nice to drink. It's not gonna give problems with it, and it has a really low pH and a really nice acidity, which is gonna keep the wine getting better and better. Okay, so in the testing, in the primary notes with the Albarino, there is the theoretical prescriptors of a wine Albarino. The people says there are 3. There are green apple, citric notes, or white flowers. Okay.
这3个阿巴利牛人家课上说最主要的味道。
For me, this is quite of a green apple, yes, and then the apple is becoming a little more riper. So with the pass of the time, the green apple is moving to a riper apple.
对他来讲，这个是以青苹果为主，但是慢慢开始有点成熟。
So like I told you, we think the most important in the wines is the volume, is the mouth, is the hardest thing to get on the wine. So we don't touch the nose of the wine, because within the Albarino, it has a medium high aromatic, exotic enough, so we don't have to touch it. So we are focused more on the mouth of the wine, that we think is the hardest thing to get. So in the Albarino, which is medium, is aromatic, is nice, is enjoyable, but the most important is the mouth. If you put the wine on the mouth,
他说阿巴利牛最难的其实不是鼻子的味道，因为它本来就是芬芳型的品种，反而是口感是最难达到的。它喝下去，它可能就是 volume 这个状态。
In the mouth, you are going to feel the wine until the back of the mouth. So it's a full body wine. It's really deep. You can feel it here. And the wine stays in your mouth for really long. Even after you drink the wine stays. Here is invited to, is make you salivating here, is invited you to drink, eat more. It's about eating wine.
Inviting wine.
Exactly. So it's a wine that's asking for food, and the food is asking for wine. So it's the nice pairing. We always say the wines are not for testing. The wines are for eating and drinking. Yeah. Wine makes food better. Food makes the wine better. So try to go it together. The natural pairing of this wine is our local seafood. It's like the seafood is boiled fish, grilled fish, boiled seafood, like oysters and all those things that they have iodine, because it's really nice with the minerality of the wine and these things. It matches really nice, and every time you drink, it's asking you for food. So that's the perfect pairing for me.
就酒好的酒不是拿来品，就是 tasting 用，是拿来配食物用的，所以它很适合，不管是烤的鱼啊、蒸的鱼啊，或者是生蚝都很搭。所以就是他认为这是一款很好的酒，就是你喝了之后，它就会让你再邀请你再喝更多，然后就开始想吃东西这样。
And about the temperature service of the wine, what I always recommend is the first sip, the wine must to be cold, just because it's refreshing, is when you want to the first drink, but then just to let the wine show all the potential, let the wine get warm for a while, okay? Let the wine breathe, get a little warmer, so the wine is gonna show all the potential. Once the wine is start to be too warm to enjoy, put a little bit on the bucket, refresh it again and drink it again, but never leave the wine all the time on the bucket, because it's going to be too cold and it's going to be no enjoyable. It's going to be too chill to express itself, to show all the potential it has.
OK， 他说这款酒应该是要让这个酒自己去展示自己的好，所以一开始喝第一口一定要是够冰的状态，可是就可以让它慢慢的回温，然后真的很温的时候再把它冰进去，就是不要让它一直冰在冰桶里面的状态，会把所有的味道都锁住。Yeah.
Okay, and so this is about the wine that you got in there, the most of the people, the natural pairing and all that. But Pazo de Señorans is a little more. So this wine, you can drink it just like it is young, but you can keep it on the bottle for years. So it was, and the wine will become our next wine. It will be a Colección 2017. So 2017, you don't have that wine in there. You probably are going to have the wine, because if you leave that wine in the bottle for 2 years, becomes Colección.
But it's the same?
It's the same. So it's the last bottle that we keep, is a selection of a bat, okay? And the last bottle, we don't put it on the market. We just bottle it, keep it aging on the bottle for 3 years, and we put it on the market after 3 years. It's just to show how nice the bottle makes to the wine to develop and get better and better.
这一款是就是这酒，他们把原本比较就 OK 的一个瓮就留下来，然后放3年的时间，成年之后上市这样。所以他只是觉得，就他说我们这个拿去放3年也会有一样的效果。对，直接放一样的东西。
Because sometimes people get afraid if they have a white wine for a few years on the bottle, they get scary and they start to make promotions because they think they have to sell it fast. That is not our case. If you have 1 case left, don't make promotions. Increase price. You have a better wine. As older, better. Okay. So and here, all the restaurants know about that. If they want a 3 vintage before, they know there's gonna be 3 euros more expensive than the other one. Okay, because all our wines are getting better and better.
Okay.
How the wines are gonna change on the nose and on the palate. Okay, so I will try to explain the difference between the one that you got and the one that will become after being 3 years on the bottle. Okay, so the first you got on the nose is like a green apple. No, it's just like a young, really vibrant, nice, crisp acidity. Okay, if you drink the wine after 3 years, the green apple will be more a golden apple, compote apple. Okay, riper.
Rotten.
You are not gonna feel anymore that bitterness in here, because the wine is gonna look rounder, it's gonna look softer, it's gonna look a little fatter, you know, a little more complex.
3年之后会比较胖一点点，然后比较像是那种烂苹果、熟成苹果的味道。
And the bitterness sensation in here is gonna move to the end of the mouth, and is gonna become a little more minerality sensation. The wine becomes more gastronomic. They need a bottle, and they are gonna able to have with a much more complex food. You know, it's really nice. for me, like we say here, is asking for a table. The first one you can drink it standby after work or next to the swimming pool or whatever. Once the wine has ordered, you need a nice food, this in front of you, a nice table, and the wine becomes more gastronomic. It's more complex wine. It's more about take some time, enjoy, it's gonna tell you more things.
喝的这种，然后这个放3年是就是有餐桌，然后有菜肴，坐下来吃饭搭配的，就比较他们所谓的 gastronomic wine，对，就是比较是餐搭，就比较正餐搭的酒。
The range of pairing it grows because the wine you can have it just with the fish and all this, but it's becoming really nice for like stews and some spicy food and all that, because the minerality and the acidity that keeps the wine makes every time you drink, your palate is going to be totally clean. So you can be changing from one flavors to other, that every time you drink, your palate is going to be totally clean and you will be able to enjoy the real flavors of the food. And that is because the acidity of the wine that works like a cleaner in your mouth.
就是它的酸度跟它的那个矿石感，就是会让你在每道菜的时候把你胃都洗得干净，就是它的酸度这件事情，所以很适合大餐。
And the wine becomes more and more complex. And then if you leave the wine another 3 years on the bottle, it's when the wine will start to show where it comes from. When it's really young, it's about variety. With 3 years, it's about how it was made, about the lees, about these smokies. Another 3 years is going to tell you where it comes from. The granite will appear on the wine. This smoky, graphites. It's going to remember a lot of the Riesling wines.
The Riesling wine, OK。他说，如果是这种的话，它是一开始它的香气气味就完全来自于它的品种，然后放3年之后比较是来自于它的陈年啊、熟粒这一块。然后再放3年之后，就主要是来自于它的 granite， 它的石花岗岩那些岩感，对，就是那种比较重的一些比较宽的 volume， 比较重的层次感，所以他们的酒是会随着时间去体现不同的变化。
Okay, this is some pictures of the property. This is the old palace. Oops, where is this is the old palace.
Pazo, no?
The Pazo. This is the Oreo. You see the Oreo here? Here are the tanks right now in the new building. Bottling room. And this is the warehouse.
And all around you, there are vineyards. Like you collect those vineyards next to you.
Yes, this is where we make selección de añada. Single vineyard wine comes on always from this plot. Oh, sorry. It comes always from this plot. The other wine that we make. And these are tiny plots that we take care. This is one of the 400 tiny plots we made the wine. This is another one between the 400. This is another one. So that's tiny things. Let me see. Okay, this is the front house of the Pazo, and this is the label of the wine. If you see the label, label is an aquarelle picture made from the garden, and this is the front, that is where the label is making of. This is the main door. Right now we do weddings, company presentations, and all that. This is like dancing areas, or it's a really nice place to visit. This is the main door of the functional building where the stainless steel tanks and all that. And I mean, that's mainly Pazo de Señorans.
It's really beautiful.
It's a really nice property. It's really nice because it helps to understand everything. And yeah, it's our point. Our point is try to get the best from the nature and try to show everybody how sad good things we have from here, from our wet environment.
And since when you started to have your first vintage?
The first vintage of the in this house, it was already wine 300 years ago, okay? Because like all the houses, they grown their own wine, self-sufficient house. But that was in 300 years ago. But this first label on Pazo de Señorans label was 1989.
1989.
1989, it was the first label with the Pazo de Señorans brand on it. But on the house, they're making wine 300 years ago. If you come here, I can show you where they made the wine 300 years ago.
Okay. 反正就从这个地方看起来，他们就是300年前就已经开始有酿酒了。I will ask them if they have any questions, no? Yes. 有什么问题可以提出？ And Javier, I have a question that I heard about the winery owner is a girl, right? Or
yes,
yeah, it's a woman.
So the owner is Marisol Bueno, and Marisol Bueno belongs to a group of people that in the early 80s they start to talk with the growers around the area. Imagine a lady on the 80s talking to the men's growers around the area, explaining to them what they should do. And this group of people, they start to talk then and they say, okay, you must focus on the Albarino variety because the people was starting to grow another hybrid varieties, stronger but really bad varieties to make it wine and say,
what's that variety?
Another varieties, hybrid varieties.
Hybrid, okay.
Hybrid ones, stronger but really bad for making wine, and say, forget about the hybrid, focus on the historical wines, register your vines, that is going to be your patrimony. And this group of people, they create the appellation Rias Baixas. And Marisol, that is the owner of Pazo de Señorans, she was the first president, and she was the president for 22 years. So it's kind of the lady of the wine around here, you know, it's a lady on the 80s, playing, being the first president and trying to drive all the appellation for 22 years. Is quite a special person on the local wine in here.
Yeah, I'll do some translation. 这个女的现在的那个酿庄主啊，其实是一个女庄主吧。然后她在1980年的时候，那时候就开始在对，因为当时还是一个非常男性主义的酿酒的环境，然后就直接跟他们当地有一个联盟嘛，就跟他们说，你们这个地方就是要好好的来酿阿巴利牛这个品种，因为当时其实很盛行一些其他的混种，然后只是味道很重，但是其实味道不够好，只是比较重而已。然后他就是不断跟他们讲，然后后来他教育的这群人就也变成了一个组织，组成一个组织就是他们现在 ES Baixas 的 PO 的组织，然后Marisol 现在的这个庄主也是在里面当就是 president，对，最高的那个人的职务也当了22年，所以当地的人对于这个酒庄的就是庄主有一个很崇高的意念吧，然后也觉得他就算是这边就是酿酒文化的一个始祖这样。对 ，Marisol， ¿no?
Marisol Bueno, yeah.
Bueno.
Some more questions? Any curiosities?
And how old is she? Like
she's,
now?
I think, 71, 72.
Okay. Wow.
72, I think. She is still coming in the winery almost every day. She comes around here right now. Her daughter is at the business, but she is still coming almost every day. She likes this, you know, after being creating and building for 50 years. So it's nice to keep involved.
Life, I mean, 他就是72岁，但现在还是每天都会来酒庄，那他的女儿也在里面工作，这样，那还是每天来。
She's a clever mind.
A what?
She's a clever mind. She has a clever mind.
Yeah. 他有一个很干净、很聪明的一个脑子啊，内心也是。Yeah, because she has her vision, no? Like 20 years.
Yes. Have the vision, how they should organize, and you have to imagine how difficult in that age, you know. And it was not even internet.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to communicate, to create something, just make the people to trip. Okay, make a group. Okay, let's travel. Let's learn from another regions like Champagne and another places. What happened with them 100 years ago? Make travels to different areas. Come here, learn from the good things, learn from the bad things, and create something new, taking the best from each others and all that. So it was quite a nice thing.
Yeah, imagine it's 30 years ago or 40
yes,
years.
and really exciting. Yeah, 39 or 38 years ago. Yeah, so it's quite young. Everything is quite young.
就30-40年前，1980年那时候，其实在这个地方酿酒还没有那么的成熟，所以他们就组队，然后去香槟产区啊，就去世界各地，有那样比较寒冷的白酒的地方去观摩，然后学好的，然后摒除掉不好的。然后他也觉得，就是40年前就开始这样子做，其实是很酷、很创新的一件事情，就是他有一个很有远见的头脑。Question?
More questions? Curiosities?
有没有什么有兴趣想知道的？ But how do you think about Terras Gautas?
No, it's a really good company. It's a really good company. Wines are good. It's totally different wine because it's a blend, but they don't have aging capacity. It's a really good company. They are good friends of mine. They make really good wines because it's the local blend of Rosal. But for me, the difference is they don't have aging capacity. But it's a really great company. They do really good job, really serious. Is probably the biggest private company because that is in here. They make a few million bottles, but it's a private wine. It's not a cooperative. They don't have like big investors on the back. You know, it's private. But I think it's one of the best private wines. But the problem with the wines, they have top wines, but the main wine, the problem is don't have aging capacity. Okay, but they're really nice to drink, Jan. They're really nice to drink, Jan. But for us, the point of aging is really good. Once if you buy a wine and gets better and better and gets more complex and more complex every year, so for us it's an add value that is our add value mainly.
Your strength, actually, yes, your alma. Yeah.
But these guys are really good, and they are friends of me.
Good and
they are good friends. They are good friends.
Good friends 啊 ，OK。高达其实是他们很好朋友，然后他们其实很认真在酿酒，只是他们没有办法去做催成年的阿巴利牛，他们就是年轻的时候喝很好，对，但是就是这样子，因为他们算是，他是说是最大间的。就是私人的酒厂，就是跟农会之下的，就是那个合作社之外，他们算是最大间的，在西班牙，应该或者是说这个产区啊，对。Yes, well, Javier, thank you very much. It was an amazing introduction, and we barely know nothing about Galicia and Rías Baixas, and and then
now the next. Next thing is you come to visit us. Next thing is you come to visit us. That is the best way to understand the area and the wines. Come to visit us.
Yes, and also food pairing, no? Like not
food pairing. I can show you the nice local places, the perfect pennies for the ways, see all the plots. So, and we can taste and all things just to show you how the wines develop with the pass of the time, how they're getting better and better.
Wow, we cannot wait. And how is the virus now? The coronavirus, is everybody okay?
It's okay. So people is not talking anymore about coronavirus. It's starting. So all the restrictions are finishing in this week or whatever. So, but the people is not like every day's talking thing. So people is starting to make real life. People is starting to traveling. Probably I will start traveling next month or whatever, you know, things. So things are becoming more normal. There is not everything normal, but a little more of normality is coming, and is good. The statistics are really down, so there is not too many complicated people. 80% of the people is vaccinated, so I think it's getting better and better. I hope it's the past. I hope COVID is the past.
I hope so. Everybody hopes so. Yeah. 还好了 ，coronavirus 一切都 OK， 大家也开始慢慢活动这样。 Haven't Moody. No. Okay, like thank you for your like a really complex introduction, and we really enjoy a lot, especially tasting wine and together with your presentation. Like we do feel personally being there, and of course we hope to be there like really soon.
Yeah, next time we are gonna be together and we can do it just catching things.
Yeah. Javier, do you have WhatsApp app? Because I tried to add your phone number, but it doesn't work. So
yes, I will send you through mail, but I have WhatsApp. Yes, I have it. Let me check, because probably you send me through another. Okay, I will send you through mail my number, and we create a WhatsApp.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, and feel free to ask anything you need from here. Okay.
Okay, I will. If we have any extra questions, we will write you by email as well.
Okay, and I will send you my WhatsApp number just to can get in contact through WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.